I want you to treat me as a pupil at the partly trained stage.
Mm-hmm.
I've had lessons with another instructor, but I've never met you before. But he has got the same car as you, so I am familiar with the controls. He said today he was going to look at my meeting, clearance, and my general anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
You okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, what level am I?
Partly trained.
Yeah.
And it's meeting, clearance, and anticipation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi Tony, my name's Vicky.
Hi Vicky.
I spoke to your instructor last night and he advised me that he'd like us to practice on your meeting, clearance and anticipation.
That's what he said, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Have you done any of this at all? Any
new subjects, isn't it?
new subject?
Why don't you get your book straight away? Because you know you're going to need your book on the phase one, didn't you?
Okay. That's it there, isn't it?
So remember, I have had a few lessons, so I might have an idea about anticipation.
Okay. Okay, so as you've been driving along with your instructor, have you done any turning in the road or emerging at all?
Yeah, we did some emerging, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so as you emerge from the road that you're turning out of, and you're turning right. As you're turning right onto the main road, do you know what anticipation is at all?
What in relation to emerging?
Yeah. So as you're pulling into a road.
Well, I'm making a direct question to keep the brief flowing.
Okay. So just tell them.
What do you know about emerging?
Okay.
What do you know about anticipation?
That's kind of what I just asked.
Yeah, so what do I know about anticipation?
Yeah. So what do you know about anticipation?
That's me trying to guess what somebody's going to do. Yeah.
So as you're pulling out of this road here and you're turning right, there's a pedestrian on this road here. You can anticipate that they would cross the road.
Yeah.
So as you pulled out of this road and you were turning right, as you pull out, you'd make sure that you try and get eye contact with this person here, so you know that they've seen you with your indicator on to turn right. Okay, so then at least they will stop. They won't decide to cross the road if they can see that you're turning right into that road. Okay, and also as you're turning right into a road, you'd anticipate also pedestrians here, or even parked cars would be up here, and then that would make you coming into a meeting situation. Do you know what you should do when you come to a meeting situation?
Yeah, slow down.
Slow down. Yeah, so let's get there. So here's a meeting situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't bypass anticipation, yeah, because there's one important ingredient missing. Anticipation is always tied into what?
I don't know.
I think. If you see something that may need your attention ahead, what's the first thing you always do?
Oh right, yeah. You check your mirrors, don't you? Okay. As you're okay, so also as you're driving down the road here, and say you're driving past parked cars here, there could be a cyclist or pedestrians or children or anything that want to cross the road or pull out. So as you drive along, you need to anticipate these situations that they're going to happen. So as you're driving along, what you need to do is you need to check your middle mirror to make sure that of the distance and speed of any vehicles behind you.
Yep.
Yeah. And if there is any vehicles behind you and they're quite close, and obviously you need to pull back. You need to slow down. Okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I think that.
And also, like I just said, if you pull into a road and there is parked cars parked up here, that comes into a meeting situation. So what you need to do when you come to a meeting situation, when there's cars parked on the left hand side, and there's a car coming towards you, you need to make sure you leave at least 1.5 to 2 car lengths from your car to the parked cars, and you need to make sure that you're as left to the centre of the road as possible without blocking the oncoming vehicles.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And also what you need to do again, when you come to a meeting situation, you need to check your rear view mirror to check of the distance and speed of vehicles behind you, and also you need to check. It's your left. It's your left one, isn't it?
Okay.
You need to check your left mirror to make sure that there's no cyclists coming on the inside of you.
Yeah.
Okay? And then once you've let this car come through, what you need to do is you need to check your middle mirror for the distance for the vehicles behind you, and you also need to check your right mirror to make sure that there's no motorcyclists or cyclists coming, so you won't cause a crash if there's any cars or cyclists coming over. Okay, so then and then as you pull out, you need to make sure that you leave enough room.
Yeah, that comes under this really.
Huh?
That comes under clearance.
That comes under clearance. So is that okay, or shall I do this one as well? Yeah. Okay. So if there is parked cars on your side of the road and there is parked cars on the other side of the road, it's always a good idea to try and scan down the road as much as you can to see if there's any gaps in the cars. So if there is gaps in the cars and you see it's safe to do so, if there's a car there like travelling towards you and you're here, then obviously check your middle mirror and your right mirror before you pull out of the cars, and then you can always wait in this gap here if that car doesn't decide to wait here.
So I pull in here.
You keep. Is that not right?
Come on, have a look at the picture. What's the mirror showing you?
If there's any cars behind you.
So if I was to drop in there.
No, then the other cars would be here, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so what would be the best thing to do?
To wait?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if there's any vehicles oncoming with parked cars on that side and this side, then you just wait for them to come along.
Just turn the book around now. And if you now like me, the red car.
Yeah. So it's your right of way, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. So if you're driving along the road again and there's any cars parked on the right hand side of the road, that is your right of way, because there's no cars blocking your.
I just keep going.
Yeah. You keep going, and cars that are oncoming should wait for you to come through.
If they don't, I just force my way through. Yeah?
No, if they don't, then obviously you need to anticipate that. You need to as you're coming up to that situation, you need to probably anticipate that they might do that. So again, you need to check your rear view mirror to see if any distance and speed of vehicles behind you, and slow down.
But I take my priority, yeah.
Yeah. But if they pull out by the time that you, I don't know what to say there.
Now, what would you do if you were driving yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
And you had priority,
Yeah.
and somebody comes hammering towards you,
Yeah.
are you going to stand your ground?
No.
What are you going to do?
Just stop and wait.
So there's times I might have to give my priority up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's no good having it on your tombstone. Here lies Vicki, but she had priority, yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you want me to say that? Or do you want me to go on to the next one?
You said it then.
Say it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so if you're the red car and you're driving along and this yellow car here decides to pull out so you can't drive past, what you need to do is you need to stop and wait for this car to come through.
Oh, right.
Even though it is your priority, there won't be enough safe room for two cars to travel through. So you need to check your mirror and stop and wait for this vehicle to come through, and then when it's safe to do so, check your mirrors and then pull off.
All right.
Okay? And then so in this situation here, when we come to a meeting point, what we need to do is...
I think you've covered that, haven't
Yeah, but I'm just going into the next one.
you? Yeah, don't forget, the longer we're here briefing, the less time we're going to get practice on the road, haven't we?
Okay, so as we do come to a meeting point with cars parked on the road, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we leave sufficient room as we pass the cars. So we need to leave at least a door's width from the parked cars to your cars, especially when there's a lot of cars parked here. Anyone could walk out. Kids could be playing along the road and their ball could come out and they could just run after it. So what you need to do also, you need to slow down, make sure you drive at a slow pace.
So you're kind of looking at two different pictures there, right? Just two different scenarios, yeah?
Yeah.
That one there, I've got room to give a door's width.
Yeah.
Yeah? What have I not got room in this?
A door's width.
So if I haven't got room to give a door's width, what do I have to do?
Slow down.
Yeah, so don't confuse the two together, yeah?
Okay.
That one, I've got
Let's
plenty
get
of room to
door's
give a
width.
door's width.
Yeah.
It's important to give a door's width in case the door opens or somebody walks out or the vehicle moves away. But there will be occasions where I won't have room to give a door's width.
Okay.
And on that occasion, I need to reduce my speed accordingly
Yeah.
to allow me time to react, yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you keep looking at the book, it'll give you clues what you need to talk about.
Okay. Okay. So as we come up to as we're driving along a normal road, and there's vehicles in front of us, do you know what what clearance you should give between your vehicle and the vehicle in front?
Not too sure.
Okay. So we say that it's a 2-second gap.
We say.
Well, everyone says it's a 2-second gap. And what we do to judge that, if you're driving along and you can see a lamppost on the side of the road,
Yeah.
with the car in front of you, as soon as the car in front of you hits that, passes that lamppost, you say to yourself, only a fool breaks the 2-second rule. And by the time you finish saying that sentence and you've reached that lamppost, that means that you've left a sufficient gap. That means that you've left a 2-second gap there. But if it's wet, we need to double that up.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So obviously you need to say that sentence twice to make sure that you're leaving a full second gap.
Try and leave the word obvious out, because there's nothing obvious to me, is there?
Okay. Also, when we're coming up to traffic lights, it's and there's traffic in front of you waiting to go. Do you know the clearance that you should leave between the vehicle in front of you and your car?
I've never hit one yet.
No. Okay, so what you need to do is we call it tyres on tarmac. So you need to make sure when you're sitting in your normal position in the car and you're coming to a stop, you need to make sure that you can see the tyres of the car in front of you and some tarmac as well. This is very important, because if there was any emergency vehicles coming up and they needed to get through, it would give you enough time to pull forward and leave enough and leave a gap for the emergency vehicle to come through. And also, if that car in front of you broke down, you'd need to get around it, so you'd also need enough room to get around it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. If you'd like to, have you got any questions on that at all?
No.
Okay. If you'd like to set yourself up.
Yep.
Okay. What can you see in your rearview mirror?
Not a lot. I can square the whole back window. I see a bit of my left ear. All I can see is a load of red bricks.
Okay. Lovely. And what can you see in your right mirror?
Again, I can see the door handles in the bottom left-hand corner. And again, I can see about 9 bricks up the wall.
Okay. And what about your...
Same.
Yeah. Okay. When you're ready.
So we're going to be turning left out of the car park.
Okay.
And then right. So left out of the car park and then right.
Okay, so if you'd like to turn left out of this car park here, and then at the end of the road we're going to do a turn right.
Just looking at the exit there, is there anything you can see that I need to be thinking about anticipating?
Other vehicles and pedestrians. Okay, so as you're coming up to the entrance of the car park, what I'd like you to do is make sure that you're going at a very slow pace, which gives you enough time to stop if there's any pedestrians walking up or down. So so you need to anticipate that there's going to be pedestrians or even cyclists or other vehicles, because obviously it is a car park, so there might be other cars coming from either side wanting to turn into the car park.
Yeah,
okay?
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a drive on. So before, remember, go at a slow pace, stop here.
Here.
That's it. So before you come to the exit of the car park, what you need to do is...
I'm looking for pedestrians, yeah?
Yeah, you need to scan all around you. Make sure that's it, going at a slow pace, that's it.
And turning right.
And turn right here, please. So when you go to turn right, what mirrors should you be checking?
I'll find my mirrors. Turning right.
Okay, turn right here, please. Okay.
And turning right.
And turn right, please. So as you pulled out of that junction there, did you feel the car pull quite a bit?
I've only had a few lessons, don't forget.
So what I'd like you to do when we come up to this junction here, I'd like you to if we stop
Yeah, don't forget, the learner who hasn't had many lessons out of roll, yeah?
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, the driver's not going to be exactly as smooth as you want it to be, yeah?
No. So here I can talk them through lifting up the clutch and the thickness of a £1 coin.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Just leave it. But surely wouldn't that help if they were coming up to a meeting situation?
Just think about the situation you've been asked to cover, yeah?
Okay, don't forget about the tyres on tarmac. Stop!
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so don't forget, you need to stop here, please. So don't forget.
Don't forget what?
When I said to you...
When?
Just a minute ago, we were talking about the tyres on tarmac. So you've got the car... When the cars are in front of you, you need to make sure that you're leaving sufficient gaps. So stop here, please. Stop, stop, stop. So make sure you're sitting right back in your chair. And with the cars in front of you, you need to leave enough gaps. So you need to make sure that you can see their tyres and the tarmac when you have stopped. And that's because you need to leave enough gap for any emergency vehicles, or if they break down, don't you? So make sure you're sitting in your chair as normal and you leave enough room. So if you'd like to pull back a bit here, please. Slow down. That's it, because we also need to leave a 2-second gap as well, don't we? Well, 4 seconds today. 4 seconds today because it's wet.
Turning left.
Turn left and round about here, please. So don't forget the tyres on tarmac. Slow down, slow down. Stop here. That's it, can you see? The tyres on tarmac. Right, so as we're driving up here, what I'd like you to do is with the vehicle in front, you see that triangle warning sign up there. Once that car hits that triangle, we need to say and year 4, brakes a 2-second roll, twice, and then that makes sure that you have your 4-second gap. So we'll do it with that 4 more of a gap from this car and the car in front of you, because you'd need to you would need to be driving for the car behind you as well. You would have to give enough room for your car and the car behind you.
What do you mean I've got to drive better because he's driving bad?
Yes. Yeah, so do you remember what we said about the distance between the car in front of you and your car? You're on a dry road, how many seconds would you leave?
I can't remember.
That is 2 seconds. And then do you remember how we get that 2 seconds? So, that saying?
It's the same as the 4 seconds. Only was that once.
Yes. So obviously we're on wet roads today, so we do need to leave a 4-second gap. So we need to say it twice, don't we? And why is it important that we do that?
In case they stop. Okay.
That's it. And so tyres on tarmac, so we're coming up to a stopping point, so slow down, slow down, slow down.
Absolutely.
That's it. So make sure that you're leaving that tyres on tarmac with the car in front of you. So if you'd like to stop here, sit back on your chair, please. That's it. So
You can see it easy if you lean forward.
I know, but if you lean forward, then that's going to mean that you're leaving less of a gap. So if an emergency vehicle was coming, you wouldn't have a sufficient amount of gap for you to pull over.
Roundabout left.
And at the roundabout, turn left, please. There's mirrors there.
Why use that road then?
This road here,
Yeah.
no, that's for cyclists only. Your car wouldn't actually fit through there, but that is for cyclists only. It does have a sign.
Oh yeah, I see the picture of cyclists, yeah.
Yeah. So tyres on
I
tarmac.
won't get many cyclists out today in this weather, will it?
No. Not unless you want to get soaked.
They're not a big problem anyway, then. They're not a big problem, are they?
Cyclists,
Yeah.
they are. You do have to keep an eye out for them. So that's what you could anticipate. Obviously there's a cyclist route here, and as you're pulling into the main road, there could be cyclists coming up behind you. So as you pull in, you should always check your rear view and your left-hand mirror to anticipate any cyclists coming up along on the inside.
Turn straight.
And straight over, please. That's it, good mirrors there. So you checked your left mirror as you pulled in. So you're obviously checking for cyclists or other vehicles.
I got the left side, this side one is. And these markings.
Have you?
Yeah.
Do you know what these markings are for?
It just says keep clear.
Yeah, they're hazard lines, aren't they? They're warning lines because there's a school here.
Oh right.
So as you're coming up to areas that have hazard lines on the road, or school signs that are on the lamp posts, it's always a good idea to slow down, because there could be school children on the pavements, and they could just run out into the road at any time.
And turning right.
And turn right at the roundabout, and I'll turn right here, please. So as you're driving past any built-up areas and stop here,
Oh, I
stop,
didn't
stop,
see
stop.
them. I didn't see them.
So as you pull into a road, you should always anticipate pedestrians crossing.
Never saw them.
Pull right, please, right. And you should all so don't forget we're driving in quite a busy area. There's a lot of cars here, so pull right, please, pull right. So if you'd like to slow down for me.
Slow down.
Slow down, yeah. So we're in a busy area, so we need to slow down because there's a pedestrian here, and
He's doing 10 miles an hour.
that's fine, because if he all of a sudden decided to pull right, please, to turn out to walk into the road, you need to leave enough. Turn right, please. I don't know what to do because I'm saying something and then you're putting
right.
Turn right, please.
Think of the word roll, prioritise it.
Okay, so just stop talking about what I was talking about and then do that. Okay. Turn right, peep and creep. That's it. That's it. That's it. So don't forget these cars are parked up here. So What gap do you need to leave? You need to leave
Sorry?
a door's width, and for you to make sure that you are leaving that door's width, you need to get a reference point. Turn right, please. Right. If you'd like to pull up on the side of the road here, when it's safe to do so. That's it. Right. So as we pass these cars parked up here, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get a reference point. This will make sure that you're leaving a door's width from your car and the parked cars. Do you remember why it's important to do that?
Yeah, just take a step back. Yeah. When I was driving down that road, the 40 limit, yeah.
Yeah.
What was my distance like from the curb?
It was good.
Any way of linking that?
Okay.
I was around about a metre from the curb there, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I'm either guessing that or I'm judging it, haven't I?
Yeah.
So what's the question you want to ask?
Okay, so as we were driving down that 40-mile-an-hour road, how did you judge your position of the car from the distance of the curb?
Well, come at it from a different angle. How far from the curb were you driving?
Okay, so how far from the curb were you driving?
About a metre.
Okay, so how was you judging that?
I judge it by where the curb goes into the car.
Okay, so if you keep where was the curb cutting into the car?
About there.
Into the middle of the bonnet. So what I'd like you to do when we drive past parked cars, you see the outer wheel, which is on the road.
Wheel. It's got two wheels.
Tyre.
Yep.
Yeah. So the one that's closest to you, which is on the road.
You have the tyres, yeah. I know what Erkin means, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like you to put that tyre and pretend that that's your curb I don't know what to say.
You did go on, keep going.
So yeah, I'd like you to have that tyre cutting into the car where the curb does, to make sure that you're leaving sufficient room.
And that's going to...
And that's going to make sure that you're as you're driving along, if a driver was sitting in their car and they open their door all of a sudden, you'd make sure that would make sure that you're leaving enough space between your
What's
car.
enough space?
A door's width.
Oh, door's width, alright.
Yeah, because you don't want to gain another door as you're driving along if someone decides to open their door, do you?
No.
You've got enough doors on the car. Okay.
So it's in case somebody opens the door.
Yeah, and also if there's pedestrians in between the cars, they could just walk out all of a sudden. So it would leave enough room for you to stop in time without coming into contact with the pedestrian.
I had a car pull away the other day when I went past it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Pull away in front of you?
Yeah, as I was going past, he just moved away. Afraid that he grabbed the wheel.
Yes, as you're driving past parked cars, it's always a good idea to slow down.
I was going fast.
And you also need to anticipate that there's other drivers in the cars, especially if you're driving past cars that have their lights on, so brake lights, or if they've got their indicators on, or like vans parked up on the side of the road with their hazard warning lights on. It's always a good idea to keep an eye out for these, because that would tell you that there's people sitting in their cars.
Oh.
Okay, and if you do see brake lights or hazard warning lights, then obviously check your rear view mirror to make sure there's no cars behind you and the distance and speed of them, and then you should slow down and anticipate that they might just pull out in front of you.
I'll try with some of that to practice, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So don't forget the position of the car. Excellent. So the outer wheels need to be cutting into the middle.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's it. And that gives you that door's length, doesn't it? That's really good. Excellent. And as you pull in, always check your rear view mirror and your left mirror. I noticed that. That's very good. And again, as you pull out, what mirrors do you check? Your rear view and your right. Okay.
Turning right.
And turn right at the roundabout, please. What we'll do is we'll practice that again, but what I'd like you to do is, as you can see, the cars are parked on your side of the road, rather than steering quite fast. I'd like you to do it quite smoothly, but in enough time. So 1.5 cars lengths between your car and the car in front of you.
Turning right.
And turn right here, please. So you don't have to pull the steering wheel quite fast. So don't forget the anticipation of turning into a road of pedestrians, other cars, cyclists.
Not sure what he's going to do.
No. There we go, that's really good. So don't forget that reference point that you've got with the cars. Slow down.
Just trying to remember how I judge it again now.
That's it. So the outer wheel cuts into the middle of the bonnet.
Yeah.
That's it. And don't forget that there's lots of vans here.
I'm just trying to remember the reason why.
we need
door opening, you know?
yeah, and then any pedestrians in between it as well. And there's quite a lot of vans up here, so there could be workers just delivering parcels, they could be running across the road, so it's always a good idea to be going at a slower pace. And turn left here, please. So as you're turning left into this road, what are you anticipating? There could be pedestrians, there could be cyclists, and it's quite built up, isn't it? So you need to peep and creep out of this junction, lean forward, make sure there's no cars coming. Okay, if it's safe to do so, go out. That's it. So there's lots of cars parked up here, so we need to make sure that we're keeping our speed down. The distance from the cars is their door's width, and making sure that you're scanning pavements and in between the cars. There's a pedestrian there. Your clearance is really good.
Just ignore the pedestrian.
No, keep an eye on pedestrians because they could decide to walk out at any time. So obviously check your rearview mirror whenever you see any. See, as you're driving along here, can you see the reflection of the? Yeah. So if you'd like to slow down, right, leave 1.5 cars lengths between you and. Stop here.
I panicked there, so get out of his way.
That's fine. Okay, so when we come into a situation like that, when there's a car coming and there's cars parked either side, he couldn't pull in anywhere, and obviously we had a gap here.
Yeah, I got nice and close in, didn't I? Give him plenty of room.
Yeah. So when you come to a meeting point like this, what's always good to do is obviously you need to leave 1.5 car lengths between the parked car and your car. That's because we always need to make sure that we can get out from where we are without having to pull out too fast, then we end up on the other side of the road. Okay, and also when we do stop, we need to make sure that we're as left to centre as possible to the road, on the road, because if there's any vehicles coming up behind us, they would probably think that we're parked up right now, like that car. They didn't even hesitate, did they?
So when you say as left to centre as possible, what does that mean?
Well, because this road has cars parked either side of the road, if you were to wait in left to centre of the road, then the vehicles coming towards you wouldn't be able to get past, would they?
Fine.
Yeah. So you need to be as left to centre as possible for the width of the road.
Oh, it's not black and white then.
No, you need to judge it yourself. So you need to think, I need to wait as far to the middle of the road as possible, but I also need to be able to let any oncoming vehicles, they need to be able to get through as well.
Oh, I think I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So as
we get a bit of practice there.
yeah. So if we like to pull out. So as we pull out of here, you'll notice that we haven't left 1.5 cars lengths. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to oversteer to the right quite a bit now, aren't we?
Somebody come right behind me there.
Yeah. So always make sure that you do your checks. So make sure that you check your scan the road, check your rearview mirror, your right mirror, and check over your right shoulder as well. Make sure there's no vehicles coming. It's safe to do so. Pull out. That's it. Yeah. So you need to steer left, left, left. So you see, as we pulled out there, it was quite.
So somebody was coming towards me now.
Yeah. So what you do? So there is a car coming towards you. So if you
Can I try it?
Yeah. Let's try it. So leave 1.5 car lengths between your car and the car in front. And obviously there's no cars parked up there on the other side, so you're leaving sufficient room for them to get through, aren't you?
Oh yeah, he's got room to go through.
That's really good. So before you pull off, you need to do your checks, make sure that there's no vehicles or cyclists coming along.
And turning left.
And turn left here, please. Let's give the mirror back. So there's a car there with his brake lights on, so you need to anticipate that he's going to just put it in reverse and move backwards. So your clearance is really good. Are you okay for me to leave that with you now?
Yeah, I'm using them outer tires.
Yep. Are you comfortable for me to leave that with you? And I can keep
Yeah, I'll have a go, yeah.
Okay, lovely.
And turning right.
And turn right, please. So you're turning right onto a main road. You need to look out for any pedestrians, any vans or cars parked up on the side of the road. So there's lots of cars parked up either side, and there's people standing there waiting for the bus.
I catch the bus there every morning.
Yeah, and if people are in a rush, and they could be running across the road, couldn't they, to catch the bus in time?
Yeah. I'm always late.
Yeah, so you always need to make sure that you anticipate any pedestrians that are going to run across the road at the last minute. So whenever you see a bus stop, it's always good to check your rearview mirror and slow down, just to anticipate that pedestrian there could always run across the road.
One?
Yeah.
It looks like perfectly safe to me.
You never know what they're going to do.
You don't have to worry about pedestrians like that. They're miles away.
No, only pedestrians that would look like they need to cross the road, or if they're in a rush. If they're looking over their shoulder, then that means that they're wanting to cross the road. Like if they're looking behind them, if they're walking away from you, or even coming up towards you as well. So the car coming up there, you should always anticipate that they might not always stop. So whenever you see your car coming up, always look in your rearview mirror.
First, yeah.
That's it. Slow down, because they could always pull out at any time. Because some cars do that. They can be in a bit of a rush. That's it. So if you'd like to check your mirror, because we're coming to a meeting point here. That's it. Cars pulling out. So these are staggered crossroads here. So when you come to any situations like that, into staggered crossroads or any crossroads,
And turning right.
turn right, please. It's always good to check your rearview mirror for the distance and speed of the cars behind you. Right, so as we're pulling into this road, there's cars parked up there and there's pedestrians, so always good to anticipate that they might just walk out into the road. That's it.
Where I live in a very narrow road, yeah?
Mhm.
And there's cars parked both sides, but it's a two-way street. How am I going to allow a doors width?
In situations like that, like this road here, and turn left at the end of the road, you can't always leave a door's width, and if that is the case, then you should always make sure that your speed is at a very low pace, because if you came into a situation of anyone opening their doors, I'll let you deal with this. That's it. You just clip the curb slightly there.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
So when you like to slow down,
So how will I deal with them cars?
you'd like to slow down, and then that would give you enough time to be able to stop if any pedestrians did come out into the road, or if anyone did open their door to get
So how do you know if there is people in these cars? Because they've all got blacked out windows.
It's always good to look out for lights. So people sit there with their foot on the brake, so you might get brake lights. it says there's the hazard lights on, or even just an indicator to come out and turn into the road, to pull out into the road. So that's always a good way of seeing it.
Oh, they might just drive away.
Yeah, so when you do see these lights, hazard lights, brake lights, indicators, it's always good to check your rear view mirror and slow down. And
Because my wife, when she parks outside the cash machine, she puts her hazard warning lights on. She doesn't drive away, she just
runs out.
jumps out.
Yeah, so it's always good to anticipate that there might be. Slow down. That's it. Carry on going. Carry on going. See that pedestrian there? They turn right here. They was going to cross out into the road, but I saw that you got eye contact with them, and you didn't slow down too much for them to think, oh, I'll just cross the road. It's always, when you do see pedestrians, you get eye contact. Make sure that you're at still a slow pace, but you do carry on driving. That's it. Let's get clearance there. Are you happy with me to leave that with you? The clearance between the cars in front of you as we come to meeting points?
The car's in front of them.
The car's parked up. That's it.
And turning right.
And turn right here, please. Right, so as you're turning right into this road, what are you anticipating?
Pedestrians and meeting.
That's it. You can see there's a meeting point there, but there's no oncoming vehicles, so we're good.
Would there be room here for 3 vehicles?
There would be, but you wouldn't be able to leave your doors whipped. So what would you need to do?
Oh, slow down.
That's it.
And turning left.
And turn left, please. So what are you anticipating when you're pulling out into this road?
Anything. I can see him coming above the vehicles.
Yeah. Yeah, big vehicles like that are always handy because you can see them. I don't think he actually knows what he's doing. When you can see vehicles coming and you want to either at crossroads like this, cross over, you need to make sure.
I did a peep and creep.
Yeah.
Covered that last week.
Quite busy today.
Shall I go through here?
No, because there's a bus there and he's a lot bigger than you.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to make sure you leave enough room for him to get through.
Oh, waved at me, look. Oh, it's very good.
He was saying thank you.
But it was my priority, wasn't it?
It was your priority, but there was no way that you would be able to squeeze through that little gap there.
Yeah, but he could reverse back, couldn't he?
He could do, but you don't want to make someone do that because that's going to make people.
No, I always thought you had to. If you had priority, you should take it.
No, if another vehicle is oncoming and they haven't left enough room for you, although it is your priority, it's always a good idea to hold back and wait and let them go through.
You mean I've got to give my priority up?
You do, yeah. Sometimes you do come into situations like that.
That's like being mugged, isn't it?
You would. It's always that tyres and tarmac is really good. Are you happy for me to leave that with you?
Yeah, I'm always careful with these Golfs because they've been in the newspaper recently, haven't they?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when there is an oncoming vehicle and they've taken your priority away, just hold back and let them go. It's not worth coming to a head-to-head with someone,
No.
just for the sake of a couple of seconds or minutes even. Especially a bus.
Yeah.
They're a lot bigger than you.
That's my bus anyway. I don't write that off.
Oh, is it?
Otherwise I'll be walking to work on
Ah,
Monday.
yeah. Well, if you do well, like you are, then maybe you won't be able to get the bus that often.
Yeah, we're still getting in one day, 'cause my test is not till a few weeks, yeah. And turning left.
Turn left, please. So what are you anticipating coming out of this road here? Yeah. Excellent.
There's this tar and tarmac. I can use that on every vehicle, lorries and buses and...
I wouldn't say lorries, buses or even vans even, because as you can see, their back wheels are set quite far into the body. So what you need to do for lorries, buses or even vans like this, if you see the bottom of the back end of their van, if you can see that and tarmac, then that would be a sufficient gap for you to be able to move out for any emergency vehicles, or even if they break down. Same goes for buses and lorries.
I sometimes see on the back of lorries and buses, if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you.
Yeah. Oops.
I'll park this myself. Okay.
Yeah. If you hold back far enough with lorries or buses and you can see their side mirrors, then you also know that you've left enough room.
How'd I do?
Yeah. At first, you wasn't leaving enough room when you were passing parked cars.
That's the first time I've done it.
But no, you have done really well, because I've managed to pass that over to you, and you've kept your distance from cars when we come up to junctions or even parked cars as well. And when we come to meeting situations, you left enough room there as well. Do you remember why it's always important to leave enough room for you to be able to pull out when you come to a meeting situation?
Yeah, don't do loads of steering.
Yeah, and what would happen if you had to do loads of steering, if you didn't leave enough room?
Across the road.
Yeah, and why is it important that you don't go onto the other side of the road?
It's hard work. Oh, I was really sweating out today.
Yeah, but there could...
Okay, right. Yeah?
Is that
How do I
right?
feel? Yeah, you got to remember, once you close that book, forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah? The brief's gone out the window, isn't it?
yeah,
So don't be referring back to the brief to which you were doing at the start, wouldn't you?
mm. Okay, so don't refer back.
And we're not doing that to be awkward. That's going to be exactly the same with a real learner.
Yeah,
It's very easy to talk to a learner at the side of the road with the engine switched off and you're both very relaxed, and for the learner to take in information. But think what that learner has to do when they move away. They've got to steer, they've got to change gear, yeah?
yeah,
They've got to use all the pedals, they've got to be looking around them, doing this, that and the other. You know, so it's not going to come very easy to remember what you just been...
talking about, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got to give the instruction on the move, yeah?
Mhm.
That make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a brief outline you gave me in the car park. Then there's got to be put into practice, yeah? Look for obvious signs, yeah? The reason why I managed to get into the car park there, because I knew there was only one test going out. But if you look at the exit of the car park, we have to cross a pedestrianised area. That needs to ring bells, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, pedestrians are going to be are going to expect to be able to walk past that gate without getting run over, yeah?
Yeah.
Make sense? Yeah, where I turned right. I don't know whether you saw the pedestrians or not. The two ladies.
Yeah, I saw them.
Jamie didn't mention me earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I should really have waited where I was, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
It's kind of halfway across the road. I had to stop, didn't I?
Yeah.
But you get the hang of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Yeah, prioritise obviously. I was shaving them parked cars and you've gone on about something else. You just kept telling me to move away. Get it sorted.
Okay.
That's really important, yeah?
Uh-huh.
And there is a way of sorting it by making a link with what you've already seen me do, yeah? That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Any questions?
Right.
Oh, I'll give that a pause.